If you are anything like me, then you value clarity. To you, clarity matters not only because it's king, but because of you understand that it's one of your most important tools as a creative. Um, there are three levels of clarity that I believe we should all, cultivate as creatives. These levels of clarity should be cultivated holistically, and even if you tried not to, to focus only on one level of clarity, I think you'd have a difficult time because they kind of, feed into each other, and regardless, we want to be intentional about how, we cultivate, these three levels of clarity, right? So, what are they? What are the three levels of clarity? The first one is what? What do you do? Right? What are you making? It's one of those things that, we as creatives, we wake up and it's, just at the top of the mind, you're just like, oh, I'm a designer, I'm a musician, right? And so it means I make designs, I make music, I make songs, right? But I think, it is worth it to sit down and, think about what it is that you are making. Not just from a philosophy perspective, but from understanding the value and the impact that you could have, right, on the next person and even your craft as a whole, right? So, for instance, myself, I make music, right? I'm a music producer. However, what it is that I make really when I sit down and I craft a song, it's not just the song itself. It's actually an emotional space that I'm making. So that's what I've started to understand, and it's taken me the entire journey. This is something that I recently discovered, or recently had an epiphany with, and like, hey, music is something that affects our emotions, right? And so the way I'm making it is is such that it holds space for somebody to feel safe, right? So that has for me significantly increased the value of what I do, right? And so you want to be intentional about about what you say that it is that you make, what it is that you do, right? And so that's the first level of clarity. And I think most of us already kind of know, on even on a surface level, it's the value of knowing and articulating what it is that you do. It helps us to relate to our audience as well, right? Or even if somebody's not a member of our audience, if we meet somebody new, right? And most commonly we'll get asked, what do you do, right? And so in that moment, you want to be very intentional about your next words, right? So the second level of clarity is the how. If you are a creative who knows how you do what you do, and you know how special your process is, then you are already ahead of most of your peers, because most creatives don't internalize their process, right? When you sit down and make a painting, what it is exactly, what are the steps that you are taking to do that, right? What goes into that final outcome that you share with the world, right? Knowing that helps you also, to become more visible, because what you then are going to do is you're going to start telling people that, hey, when I sit down and write a poem, this is what I do step by step. When I get up and go make a sculpture, this is what I do step by step. It makes people, it takes people in to your process, and it puts them right at the center, of, this beautiful thing that is unfolding, right? And people love that, right? So having that second level of clarity, knowing how it is exactly that you do things, right, helps you not only to, be more visible and articulate what it is that you do and how you do it, but it also helps you as well to consistently refine your process, right? The interesting thing about, this level of clarity is that whilst there are, two people making the same thing, right? Two people writing poems, having an understanding of your process, right, will allow you to, not start to compare yourself to the next person, to again know your value, right? Because in some cases, the how can, vastly influence the results. The result can be, so distinctive because of one small thing that the one does and the other doesn't do in the process, right? So it is very important that, you cultivate an understanding for your process and why is it that you do it that way, right? And so the third level of clarity, and I think personally it's the most important, and I think you can kind of guess, it's the why, right? Most creatives, not just creatives, most people don't know why is it that they do what they do, right? Or why is it that they keep showing up for this particular thing, right? Or even why is it that they love it, right? Knowing why is one of those things that, will serve you, in your journey for the long run, right? There are challenges that we come across as creatives. Sometimes it's a resources thing, other times it's a timing thing, other times it's we hit a creative block, right, and we don't feel inspired. But knowing why you do you do what you do helps you to keep coming back, right? It becomes a thing that allows you to deepen your relationship with your creativity, to to understand, the impact that it could have in, in once it's shared, the impact it could have on the next person, right? So once you have that perspective of like, hey, if I stop making this, so and so will not have it. If I stop doing this, I will be unhappy, right? And it's whatever your why is, right? It's very important for you to, be mindful of it, right? Whether you do what you do because it makes you happy, which is completely valid, or you do it because you want to change the world, which is also very valid, right? Having an understanding of that, right, is, yes, an internal thing, but it's also something that helps you to show up in the way that you need to show up, right? So one of the things that help to cultivate clarity at this level, I think also on all levels in some way, is to talk to people about what you do, right? Talk to your peers, talk to people who know nothing about, your craft. Talk to people who have, witnessed you do things, at certain part of your journey, right? All of that gives you very important information that helps you cultivate this clarity. But I think overall, right, that clarity stems from inside here. You need to be able to, listen to your inner voice. And I talk about this in another video about stillness. I'll put a link to that in the description or the comments. Speaking of comments, I think we're gonna park this conversation here, right? Where are you in your creative journey? At what level of clarity are you, right? What level of clarity do you have, about your creative practice? Is this something you need help with? Because sometimes it takes that one conversation for you to get the next piece, or even to see the whole picture, right? Sometimes it's difficult because you are so close to what you do, right, that there are things that you don't see, right? If you want to have, a private conversation about this, I'm more than happy to, schedule like a Google Meet or a Zoom call. We can, just chat, even if it's like for 30 minutes. Just let me know in the comments. There's a thing that I've realized about myself. I am able to see the golden nuggets in, in people, in things in general, right? And yeah, I don't mind taking some time to help you see the little gold nuggets that you're sitting with in that regard, and to help you cultivate that clarity, because I think it's something that once you've cultivated it, even at the smallest or the most basic level, it has a huge impact on your creative journey going forward, right? So if you are a creative and you feel alone, I'd like to let you know that your journey matters, not only to yourself but also to me, and that you aren't alone, right? I appreciate you for making it to this part of the video. I will see you in the next one.